What's happening, guys? My name is Wids, here to talk about Nightmare Sigils. Once you unlock Nightmare difficulty or World Tier 3, you unlock Nightmare Dungeon. So the way you do that, you get sigils. How do you get sigils? They drop from the world. You can get them from doing Whispers of the Dead bounties. You can also get them from Helltide when you do Helltide. Or you can just go around the world killing stuff and one would drop. Additionally, you can get them by doing Nightmare Dungeons themselves. So today we're gonna focus on how to craft them yourself, how to salvage them, and also how to sell them if you so choose. Now, the place to go to do many of these things is to the occultist. So once you go to the occultist, you can come here and you can see where you can craft sigil. Now, you won't be able to unlock this until you actually complete a tier 3 or above Nightmare Dungeon. And also, as you can see, we have two different types. We have the sacred and we also have the ancestral. So that means the world tier 3 and world tier 4. So you recognize which one is what. So if I go to my consumables right now, and as you can see, we have a sacred one that I crafted that says ancestral nightmare sigil. And the sacred one, they said sacred nightmare sigil. So that's how you can distinguish which one is what. Note that you cannot do sacred nightmare sigil while you are on world tier 4, which is torment level. So if you have a lot of sacred sigil, then you have to go down to world tier 3 to actually complete them. Now, what's the difference between doing them in world tier 3 or world tier 4? So the difference is you do not have that much benefit to do them in world tier 3. So it's best for you to do them in world tier 4. Reason being, if you are trying to level up and you are using Nightmare Dungeon to level up, you need to make sure that the enemy is higher level than you are. And the consensus throughout the Diablo 4 community, you need to fight enemies that are 3 level higher than you. That way you can get that 25% XP in order for you to get any benefit of leveling a lot faster. So to put this into perspective, to understand why you need to fight enemy 3 level higher than you, it's because of this chart right here. Now this you can find on the Diablo Reddit, so be sure to take a screenshot of it if you need to, because if you start fighting enemies that are lower than you, then you start getting deficit because you're gonna be in the minus of XP. That means you just playing the game and you are going to level a lot slower than you would otherwise if you were fighting enemies that are higher than you. That said, here's the best way to craft them. So that means you go to the occultist and then you go to the craft sigil. As you can see, you have options to craft the type of sigil that you want. So in order for you to have the enemies to be at 3 level higher than you, what you need to do, you need to take your character level and subtract it by 54. This is the consensus around the community. So that way, that's the way you got to do it. So for me, for instance, if I want to have enemies 3 level higher than me, so I would go to this option right here because I got tier 16 to 20. That's because when I subtract 54 from 70, I'll get 16, and 16 is the range that I would have to fight the enemy. Now, there is no guarantee that you're going to have a tier 16 because you have a range of 16 to 20. Like for instance, if I do this one, we'll take a chance and show you for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to do this one and then we're going to see what we got. So if I go to my consumable, and you're going to see the one that I just crafted is this one right here. So now this one gives me a tier 17. This is not too bad for me, although I can just try to fight the enemies higher than 3 level. So this is not bad at all. So from 16 to 17, so it's going to be a little higher than 54. Enemy is going to be 55. And I can just do that very easily. So as long as you do some subtraction, then you will be able to be comfortably doing your Nightmare Dungeon. Now you know how to craft them, but what's important is the type of sigil that you get. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. So do you want to do the one that are bad? Maybe or maybe not. Basically, as you can see, every sigil have affixes. That means you're gonna have modifiers in the dungeon that you can fight with. Normally, when you see the yellow fixes, they are the positive. As you can see, for instance, if I take this one that is a tier 23, it's got a lightning color. So it says you occasionally call down lightning strikes that damage nearby enemies. So that's a positive for you. So you basically look at the yellow affix and see if it fits your liking, and if it does, then you just go ahead and do it. But you also need to look at the bottom affixes. Some of them can be real bad even if you have a good positive. So this is how you decide whether or not you want to do it or whether or not you want to salvage it. To salvage the ones that you don't want, you can just salvage them one by one, or you can just do it by group. So to do it one by one, you just click on where it says directly in inventory. So you go here and then you click on your consumable tab and you can see all the ones that are there. So you just start deleting the ones that you don't want. And the other way that you can do it is just by going to here and then you can click all sigil, or you can just do by category, whether it's sacred or ancestral. But if you want to delete all the ones that are in your inventory, just click on this and it will tell you that this action is irreversible. That means everything is going to be deleted, and you can say, yeah, man, that's what I want to do. And then you just go and then it will delete everything that is sigils in your consumable. Now, after you delete the sigils, then all you can see right here, you got materials that you get from deleting them. Now, why is this important? It's because you're gonna need this to actually craft them. Now, as you can see, you require sigil powder to actually craft those nightmare sigils. Now, the number in parentheses indicate how many of this sigil tier that you can actually craft. Like for instance, from 16 to 20 range, I can craft 17. As you go right there, as you can see, I can go all the way to 17. That means I can create 17 of those sigil. So that's what those numbers mean. Now, how do you sell them and why would you sell them? So just go to any vendor anywhere, just click on the vendor and then go to the sale tab, and then you just go to consumable tabs, and then the sigils are right there, and you can sell this for a total value of 1 gold. So this is how much they would give you for selling one. So it is highly discouraged to actually sell them rather than salvaging them. So it's best to salvage them, but you know the option is there for you to sell them if you feel annoyed and then you just want to sell them. So you just go sell them for 1 gold. Look at me, I got rich, 1 gold richer. Anyway, that's all we have for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this helps. I will see you guys in the next one.